my God, did I not tape any of that? I don't think I taped any of that. So if I didn't tape any of that, then welcome, welcome, welcome to the dungeon. This is Black and White, Volume 11, and I'm so glad that you're here this time. I think I'm gonna make a black and white fish. However, I think the eyes might have different colors. So those of you who are still watching in black and white, the eyes will not look great, okay? They're gonna be like maybe pink. How's that? Okay. Let's make this little guy and we shall see you afterwards. Okay, everybody, I think that we need to start with some twisted cane. So if you need a little bit more detail on how I make twisted cane, you might want to refer back to my Black and White Volume 5 Twisted Cane piece, because I talk about that as well. And I also think that it appears in my Robin's miscellaneous videos that I have twisted cane in there as well. I hope it's different. I think it is. In fact, I make 3 different types of twisted cane, so that's one you want to check out. And I think I make them a little different from this one. This is just a small lollipop cane done on the end of a mandrel. I just get the black, flatten it out, put the white on, flatten it out, make sure that both the sides meet as close as possible. And then I'm just going to add another piece of, a mandrel, or a punty is what I would call it, on the other side. And then just a little bit of heat. And I thought I'd just do a little slow-mo here for you because it looks so cool. A little bit of heat and even heat. That's the trick. Even heat. I never overheat the edges. I only keep my heat in the center. And then the pull, this pull was really nice. So I was like very proud of myself. Yeah, I was like, man, I got that on film. Cool. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and start this piece out by just adding a couple of footprint beads and then maybe adding a little extra to the top part, just so I can get something going. And but this kind of all depends on the size of the bead or what I'm making. So right here I'm adding quite a bit of glass, but I'm adding it mostly on just 2 sides, okay? You can see that I'm not adding it in around. Once I rolled that out, that became the width for the fish, which is what I'm making today. And so I just get a very simple pattern of a fish, and then I'm gonna put my twisted cane on. And then here's where I'm gonna shape the fish. I'm gonna use my butter knife and my marvering pad to kind of help me out. I don't want to push too hard either, so I need to make sure that every time I heat the fish, I pulled the tail out right there because the heat was just right. I'm not trying to overheat, I'm not trying to underheat. And that's pretty much the simple shape of a fish. And now we need to add some fins here, so I'm going to use the white. I add fins to the top. You can add them anywhere, but I add fins to the top, to the bottom, to the sides. There are a few that I actually forgot that I usually do. But before I add the tail, I like to do all this work first, because you need to be able to get into that area to shape the top and bottom fin. Once they're kind of as wide as you want, you can begin to either elongate them a little bit more, like I'm doing here. And sometimes when you add hot glass and then you swipe that hot glass off, you can get a really nice little point going. And I'm putting just some little extra dots on the end of the front fins because I know later on it'll probably need a little bit more glass anyway. And here I go. Here's the tail. I'm going to let everything just kind of like settle down on the rest of the fish, but I still want to maintain the heat in it, just not enough to melt it. So I do that, and then I come in after I add just a little blob. I don't flatten it, I just tweeze it. I just give a little tweeze. And then I'll start to elongate those just a little bit. It's almost like you're pulling a stringer off of what you're doing. Okay, here's our little eyes. I like to make the eyes nice and bulbous for some reason, but sometimes when they're real flat, they look cute too. Okay, I'm going to use just a very small amount of this gold pink that I have, which is a super expensive color, so I only use it sparingly. And sometimes it burns out, and that's the worst, but it worked out pretty good this time. So I'm just adding little tiny bits, okay, of the white here and there, not only to add more glass. Oh, there's my mouth. I'm so sorry. I just put the mouth in, and I just broke my mandrel. I hope you guys noticed that now. From here on out, I'm working on this kind of precipice of danger here. I'm walking the plank, so to say, because the fish could just start moving around on my mandrel at any time as the bead release falls off. So I'm trying to finish, but you know, all in all, I wanted it to be a little bit more. There was more I wanted to do on this fish, but there's always another day, always another day. This fish came out great. He looks really cute. And right now I'm just trying to finish shaping it. I don't want him to be straight because that looks so, just abnormal to me. I like to have a little bit of movement in my fish. And it looks like I'm adding all sorts of little black dots here and there. And maybe too many, but I wanted them to be a certain size. I think that is probably why I'm adding so much. And then this little bit of twist. And when you're heating that up, you're not really grabbing that hot part. You're grabbing a little bit, on the cooler end, because you don't want to make tweezer marks or anything. All right, this fish is looking good. I think, here I go, adding more, always adding more. And we are finished. All I'm doing is like pulling out the color of the eyes. There he is. If you need more details or have any questions, let me know in the comments. Let's see how our little guy turned out. Our little fishy. Oh my God, he's so freaking cute. Look at this guy. And yeah, he was actually coming off the mandrel when I finished him. So always be aware of that, because if you start a bead and it becomes released from the mandrel, you have two options. Your option is either to gently work on it, and if it gets too loose, you either put it in the oven or you throw it away and you start over again. So that's all we could do. But this guy worked out really well. Let's clean him up and show him off. Hey, little fishy. So you want to take utmost care when cleaning anything that has appendages coming off of it. So be very careful when cleaning out these types of beads.